Let me tell you a quiet truth that most men never hear, and if they do, it's often too late. There's a silent game happening right around you, right now. It's not loud, not obvious, but it's incredibly powerful. It's not being played with words or confessions. No, it's a dance of glances, a rhythm of body movements, a language written in breaths and silence. But here's what most men miss. The signals you're waiting for, they're already here. They're just not coming in the language you expect. You think attraction announces itself with flirtation, compliments, or bold gestures. But here's the truth. The real signals are buried deep within behavior. Subtle, quiet, and often unconscious. Over the last decade, I've spent more time than I'd like to admit studying these patterns unfold, not just in books, but in coffee shops, gyms, offices, and even moments between glances at dinner tables. And what I've learned is this. There are two signs, two subtle, powerful patterns that show when a woman isn't just into you. She's deeply, obsessively drawn to you. Sometimes it's even against her better judgment. She may not say it, she might not even realize it herself, but her body will tell you if you know how to read it. And that's why we're here today. Because there could be someone in your life right now, a colleague, a friend, or that person you see every Thursday morning at the cafe, and she's sending you signals you're blind to. That ends today. No more walking past hidden opportunities. No more ignoring the language you were never taught to understand. Today, I'm going to give you what I wish I had earlier in life. The ability to walk into a room and know, without a word, who's already drawn to you. Because here's the thing, desire doesn't always speak, but it always leaks. In her breath, in her posture, in how she mirrors you without even knowing it. Once you recognize these two signs, it'll feel like a veil lifting, like you've stepped into a secret world you never knew existed. And suddenly, everything will click. The cold shoulder, it's not cold at all, just a test. That delayed text, a calculated pullback to measure your strength. The way she mentions someone else just as you lean in. Not rejection, it's a trigger to see what you'll do with it. This isn't about tricks. It's not about chasing approval. It's about understanding. Understanding the signals written in biology, not behavior, because at its core, attraction isn't a choice. It's a survival instinct, and once you can read it, you stop chasing, you start choosing. Welcome to the Stoic spirit. We don't deal in games, we don't chase validation. We study the truth beneath behavior, and today you're going to learn the first two codes of that truth. If you're ready, let's dive in. Part 2, Sign 1, the mirror in the silence. Sign 1, the mirror in the silence. Sometimes a woman doesn't say how she feels, but her body does. Not in grand gestures or dramatic scenes, but in the quiet way her rhythm begins to match yours. When a woman is deeply drawn to a man, something silent takes over. It's not planned, it's not conscious, it's primal. She starts to mirror you. At first you won't notice, but once you do, it's unmistakable. She echoes your movements, your tone, your posture, your breathing. Not because she's trying to impress you, no. It's because her biology is reacting, and this isn't just theory. In 2003, researchers from the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology published a groundbreaking study. They called it social glue. The idea is simple. When we mimic each other unconsciously, gestures, expressions, vocal patterns, we build connection, trust, and even desire. Their research found that mirroring creates an instant sense of closeness. And the more emotional pull there is, the faster and more accurate the mirroring becomes. So if a woman finds herself sinking into you frame by frame without even realizing it, that's not coincidence. That's her subconscious tuning into you. Now let's make this real. Picture a quiet cafe. You're sitting across from her. The light is soft, the air still. You lean in slightly to speak. 3 seconds later, she does too. You rub your chin while thinking, and not long after, her fingers touch her cheek. You pause. She pauses. It's as if something invisible is dancing between you, mirroring breath for breath. Even blinking falls into rhythm. You blink. She follows, not instantly, but in harmony. This isn't just poetic. It's biological resonance. And here's the deeper layer. The stronger her attraction, the shorter the delay between your gesture and hers. So how do you test this? Start simple. Spend the first 5 minutes just watching her natural posture, gestures, and expressions. This is her baseline. Then, change something deliberately. Lean back, cross your arms, shift your body. Wait. Does she adjust her posture? Within a few seconds. Next, go even more subtle. Scratch your wrist, tilt your head, touch your watch. Does she mirror these small movements shortly after? If so, you're not just having a conversation. You're sharing a subconscious experience. But here's what most men don't realize. Mirroring works both ways. You can lead or follow. If you match her breathing pattern during a calm conversation, you create a non-verbal bond that bypasses her logical brain. It speaks to something deeper, something emotional, something instinctual. Think of it as tuning your presence to her frequency. When you do this right, you make her feel seen without saying a word. Let's add a fascinating variation: delayed mirroring. Let's say she reflects your action, but 30 to 60 seconds later. That delay isn't rejection, it's resistance. It means her body feels the pull, but her mind is holding back, fighting what it's starting to feel. In that space of hesitation, her body betrays what her words won't say. And that's the beauty of it. Words can deceive, intentions can be hidden, but the body whispers truths it cannot conceal. Mirroring is one of those whispers. It's how attraction leaks out through the cracks in logic. Part 3. Sign 2. The silent jealousy test. Sign 2. The silent jealousy test. Sometimes, when a woman starts to truly feel something for you, she won't confess it in words. Instead, she'll test it. And not with logic, but with emotion. Not because she wants to hurt you, but because deep down, she needs to know what kind of man you really are. This test often arrives dressed as distance, indifference, or even discomfort. But beneath that surface, something powerful. Desire. That's unsure of safety. It's called the jealousy trap. And most men fail it. Let's walk through this slowly because this one moves in silence. Phase 1. The subtle retreat. You're having a good time, talking, laughing, and then, out of nowhere, she says something like, "Oh, your friend. Sarah seems cool, you two close?" Or maybe she sees you chatting with another woman, and suddenly the mood shifts. She crosses her arms, takes a step back, shortens her answers. Most men at this moment panic. They assume she's pulling away, so they chase harder. They try to fix things, but what's really happening? Her nervous system, millions of years of evolution, scanning your reaction for emotional strength, not with words, but with the space. It's not rejection. It's an invitation to prove your steadiness. Phase 2. The probe. After the retreat comes the test. She'll say things that feel harmless on the surface, but are crafted to pierce beneath. She's cool, huh? You probably like girls like her, right? She seems more your type. These are not just statements. They're questions in disguise. And your answer, whether verbal or non-verbal, tells her everything she needs to know. This is where most men fall apart. They get defensive, over-explain, or try to clarify. But the Stoic response is calm, minimal, and unshaken. She's cool. Or maybe even, Yeah, she's attractive. Not because you're trying to provoke jealousy, but because you have nothing to prove. And that silence, that unbothered space, screams value louder than any words ever could. Phase 3, the proximity play. Here's where it gets interesting. She starts standing closer to other men when you're nearby, mentions someone who asked her out, talks louder so you can hear her joke with another guy, and then she glances. Quick, subtle, barely a second, but her eyes flick to you. What she's doing, without realizing it, is creating a scenario to gauge one thing. Will you break? Will you react with jealousy? Will you lose composure? Will you become possessive? If you do, she pulls back, because now you've shown insecurity. But if you stay still, if you watch with a soft smile and no tension in your body, you pass the test. That's when the shift happens. She returns, she touches your arm, finds a reason to laugh near you again, re-engages physically, because the test is complete. You didn't flinch. Why this happens? You might wonder and say, why all this? Why not just say what she feels? Because feelings are delicate and vulnerability is a risk, especially in attraction. So instead, biology speaks, not through declarations, but through defense mechanisms built over millennia. Testing is safety. Jealousy is pressure, but your reaction is everything. The Stoic spirit response. The Stoic man doesn't chase validation. He doesn't react emotionally. He remains centered, calm, solid. He stays steady even when provoked. He doesn't engage the game. He doesn't explain. He doesn't defend. He observes. You smile. You nod. Because power doesn't shout. It breathes slowly and watches everything. The Stoic man understands that in these quiet moments, value is declared without noise. Everyday examples. You'll see this everywhere once your eyes adjust. The barista who mentions her boyfriend after you flirt. Not a shutdown, but a challenge. The co-worker who says, "You've been talking to her a lot lately." When she used to ignore your presence. These are not dead ends. They're detours designed to see if you stay on course. The Stoic path, calm under fire. The Stoic spirit response, you stay calm, you stay grounded, you remain in control of your emotional state. You never chase approval. You don't seek reassurance. You simply allow her to see who you are when tested. And in that silence, she feels safe. She feels drawn. She feels something rare. Respect for your presence. Conclusion, from chase to chaser. So tell me, have you ever mistaken a test for rejection before? Comment below with the word still. If you're ready to stay grounded, the next time this happens, and if this lesson spoke to you, tap your like to let us know you're walking the Stoic path. Subscribe to the Stoic Spirit for more insights into masculine presence, emotional strength, and the psychology of attraction. Remember, sometimes the most powerful response is no response at all. Now that you understand what looked like distance was really a test, and what felt like confusion was actually her curiosity asking, is he worth trusting with my heart? The rare man stays still. He doesn't chase. He simply allows her to see who he is when tested. And in that stillness, she finds her answer. Final words, recognition. What you've just learned isn't a trick. It's not a tactic. It's truth. The kind of truth that most men never get to hear. Attraction isn't magic. It's patterns, it's biologies, it's psychology is shaped by centuries of evolution. And now you see it. You've taken a step that 95% of men never take. You've learned to read between the lines, to notice what's unsaid, And that makes all the difference. So if this opened your eyes, share it with a friend, someone who deserves clarity more than comfort. Maybe it's your brother, maybe it's your closest friend. And if this message grounded something in you, tap that like button. Let us know you're walking the Stoic path. Because now you've started to see with Stoic eyes.